Good morning, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. I've not even shaved this morning. I look like terrible, man. Jesus. Step back from the television screen. Good morning, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning. Reo Hatate. Reo Hatate, who is on my mind this morning. Jesus. Step back from the not for any great reasons, but one of the biggest decisions that Martin O'Neill has done, and one of the biggest decisions that Martin O'Neill has made over the course of the season is by dropping Reo Hatate. Reo Hatate, who under Ange Postecoglou was a first team player, starter. Under Brendan Rodgers, he was a first team starter. He wouldn't get dropped for anybody. It didn't matter how bad Reo Hatate would play, he would never get substituted. Martin O'Neill has seen enough of Reo Hatate to drop him completely, not only from the team, but not even bringing him on as a substitute. Although in public, Martin O'Neill has said that Reo Hatate will still have a part to play. Will that part be from the bench, and how much of a part will it be to play for Celtic? When you look at players like Callum McGregor getting 60, 70 minutes per game, Oxlade-Chamberlain coming in and doing his job, when you see the likes of Luke McCowan getting a new extended 2-year deal contract in the midfield, what part does Reo Hatate play when you've got Arne Engels in there to add to the mix? It's all going to be very interesting between now and the end of the season. But for me, I think that the dropping of Reo Hatate has been the correct decision by Martin O'Neill. Martin O'Neill, who the speculation is increasing that he will become the next director of football at Celtic. There's ever-growing speculation online on a daily basis now. But there's also quite a lot of people talking about Reo Hatate and the fact that he's not fancied by Martin O'Neill. I think that we all know that, I mean, since Reo Hatate arrived, when did he arrive? In 22? First year of Ange, wasn't it, really? And the fact that he's no longer a first name on the team sheet. He was always first name on the team sheet. I mean, where does he go? He leaves Celtic, that's where he goes, isn't it? Sorry, I was just reading some of the comments coming through. Good morning, everyone in the chat. Anyway, who cares about him? Because Daisen Maeda, he's hitting form just now, and he's the one that could be banging in some goals for Celtic between now and the end of the season, with 3 goals, 2 assists in the last 2 matches. His coming to form could just be at the right time. Now, another player who was given a year's added contract by Celtic in the last week or so is James Forrest. And James Forrest has been talking about his chances. There's been a lot of people talking about should James Forrest be called up to the World Cup squad. I tell you one thing, it would be strange if he did, because Stevie Clark doesn't fancy James Forrest at all, and I don't mean that on a personal basis. I mean he just doesn't seem to think that he can do it for Scotland as a player. As old as James Forrest is, the fact that he can still come on and change a game for Celtic. Don't know, is there really wingers that are better than James Forrest on the national team? I'm not too sure. People might say that there may be, but anyway, there's a lot of talk and chatter online about James Forrest adding to his cap haul. He last played for Scotland 2 years ago. 2 years ago. That propelled him into the Euro 24 squad. Did he even get a game at Euro 24? I can't remember. Can't remember yesterday, never mind Euro 2024. I never watched Euro 24, to be honest. Can't remember watching any of it, don't think. Anyway, well, James Forrest. And do you think that James Forrest should get a call up to the Scotland squad? That's a question that I'm asking you in the chat this morning. Do you think that James Forrest, although he's been given an extended contract, he's not a 90-minute player as James Forrest, is he? Let's be honest, but he's a fantastic player to come on and have a right good go. And you never know, he might be a couple of goals in him at the World Cup. What a fantastic way to be to end your career, eh? One more year at Celtic and then a chance to go to the World Cup. But personally, I don't think that Stevie Clarke will pick James Forrest, because that's just the way that Stevie Clarke is, and that's one man that I do not want at Celtic. Tell me your thoughts on it. A lot of players letting us down this season playing now because they're wanting in the World Cup squad. Why not do that all season? Cost us. I think that I don't think James Forrest has been in the position to do it for the most of the season, but anyway, we'll wait and see. Be interesting because he was last called up for a friendly against Gibraltar for his 39th cap. See, when you look at it like that, he's been at Celtic for 17 years as a professional player, and to only have 39 caps for his country, it's not that great a return, is it? You would think that having a player that had been around for so long, I mean, he has been injured quite a lot of the time at Celtic as well. People will say that. But he's been part of a couple of Euros and etc. But he's also played at Scotland where they weren't. He's also been at Scotland, sorry, when they weren't qualifying for these major tournaments. So maybe that's why he's got such a low cap return for the amount of years that he's been here. Because let's face it, Scotland have been woeful. I mean, I know that I stopped watching Scotland. Don't know about yous, but anyway. Milky Moo comes up with the comment of the day. John says, good morning. If he plays for Scotland, he'll end up injured. End of season. Don't be like that. He'll not end up injured. Maeda playing the last two games. Why not play that before? Playing below in a huff. Should deduct his wage and put him on the bench. Well, that's one way to annihilate your own season. Don't you think that Celtic have imploded enough this season and caused their own downfall by doing silly things like bringing in Wilfred Nancy? Kev, don't you think that putting Dies Maeda on the naughty step on the run-ins a bit much? Can we not just sell him for big money in the summer? Well, it's not going to be big money, but just sell him in the summer and be done with it. Don't know. Has anyone heard from Stephen Johnson? No, not this morning. He was about yesterday, I think. Yeah, he was about yesterday. He's played over 30 league games for us. It's no surprise to me. He has less than 40 caps. He's not only played 30 league games for us. Liam, you've been watching far too much Rangers TV. I'm beginning to wonder about you. Honestly. Comments like that and watching Rangers TV. Anyway, Robbie Keane's making headlines, like I said last night. There's a lot of chat about Robbie Keane being the next manager. Is it just waiting for Celtic to get it done and dusted? We'll wait and see. The referee appointments for the game this weekend, because I know that a lot of you like to ask that question. Who's the referee for this weekend? It's David Dickinson. In fact, I've got it on here, haven't I? The thingy. If you haven't read it there already. There it's there. The game this weekend, we have referee David Dickinson. On the lines is Callum Spence and Douglas Ross. That Tory leader, politician. What happened to not bringing politics into football, but you're allowed to have a senior politician, Tory politician, run the line at Celtic? Anyway, Douglas Ross and Callum Spence are on the lines. Don Robertson and Duncan Nicholson are on VAR for the game this weekend. So I will keep that up over the next couple of days so that you can see it. We'd be better off with David Dickinson. Yeah. Dickinson is one of the worst, says Chopo, and I agree with that. He's a terrible referee, and it's you can understand why Scotland do not have any representation at the World Cup, because the standard of VAR is absolutely woeful in Scotland. The standard of refereeing in Scotland is woeful, but we've known it for a long time, and it should make the referees want to up their game. The fact that you do have only part-time referees in Scotland, and they're all kind of went through the lodge system as well, doesn't kind of help anyway, does it? Anyway, Let's get some more comments in this morning. I think we need a core at Celtic, whether it's management, players. It's got to be a club. Otherwise, you'll end up like the Huns, signing journeymen, looking at a wage. It's interesting that, because it all comes down to the academy, doesn't it? And if you didn't know last night, Hearts, don't like to talk about them, but for family reasons I am. Hearts, for the first time in 26 years, won the Youth Cup. I've been banging on the academy at Hearts for a long time. I'm going to do a video about it on another channel, and but they won the Youth Cup for the first time in 26 years. And they didn't just win it, they won it convincingly. They have a setup at Hearts that, see, if you're Celtic, you would actually be you would be going to Hearts, can we get a look at your youth setup for the betterment of Scottish football? Do you know, not so much to copy it, but for, it's just, see what Hearts are doing, see what the academy's doing. Do you know, if they want to make Scottish football as a whole better, but that's a conversation for another channel, so let's chill that one there. Anyway, not chill, he's the real deal. Talking about Dickinson and deals, your banter's all terrible this morning, because the refs are mincing. VR is 8-bit, yeah, it is that. Too many home referees, they will say they're in Celtic's hands. Did you see the Champions game, like the Champions League game last night? Nope. That's how far Celtic have fallen under their shitty leadership. Last year, we went toe-to-toe with Bayern. Is Hearts TV better than Celtic TV? No idea, mate. I was watching the BBC last night for the Hearts game. But anyway, I didn't see the Champions League game last night. Once Celtic aren't in it, you kind of lose interest, don't you? What, Dickinson and Tory linesman? It's like a 2-goal start. Yeah, it is that, isn't it? But we still need to get it done. We need to score goals this weekend, and we need to make sure that everyone is firing on all cylinders. One player that has reared its head, that suggesting Celtic might go back for, is Tawanda at Motherwell. It's been said that Martin O'Neill wanted Tawanda at Motherwell in the last transfer window before he left and Wilfred Nancy came in. And then he came back and he had to deal with the transfer window, even though he was thinking he was going to have to deal with the transfer window. He ended up having to do you know, the Celtic job, the Celtic job seems to be like past the parcel this year, isn't it? It is that comical. Everything at Celtic is comical. Celtic Academy is not fit for purpose. It was an absolute classic game in the Champions League last night, but there you go. Said last night that Hearts setup is good all over. The youths are winning the cup. Men's team are at the top of the league for most of the season, and their women's team are top of their league, says Lorne. I can only really comment on the academy from what I know from family member, and I've got to say it's right up there. It is right up there. They seem to be doing, and I don't like saying it, but from a football perspective, they are doing everything absolutely fantastic. DJ Kev says, don't want Martinez, would rather Keane. That's the only option. And I think Motherwell manager may be a year away. 5-4 game in the Champions League last night. Anyway, who cares about that? That's me. It's just a quick one this morning. I will be back on later on this afternoon with a little bit of an afternoon update, just to see what's been going on in Scottish football, because I'm expecting Wednesday afternoon, and I think that there may be a little bit of news this afternoon, so we'll wait and see if that does happen. Anyway, James Forrest, should he be playing in the World Cup or not? Tell me what you think in the comment section. Daiz Maeda, should he be dropped to the bench, as Big Kev says? And I don't think he should be. And is Reo Hatate, has that been the best decision that Martin O'Neill has made all year, dropping Reo Hatate to the bench? Tell me all that in the comments, and I'm sure that you can all argue out on either way. Anyway, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world. Right. I haven't even had coffee this morning. That's how bad it is.